Hello you guys and welcome back to the Magical Mansion Art Challenge. The prompt for today is Chandelier Spider Kingdom. I started this with a traditional sketch and took a photo of it with my iPad and then reduced the opacity and painted over it in grayscale. So here you can just see me putting down some of the basic shapes and values. And then at some point I also added a light grey background and started mirroring the chandelier to see if the shapes looked right, because it looked a little bit off in the beginning. My original plan for this was to not paint in a background, which is why I started painting in the spiderweb so early. And then I started to add the crystals. I just painted one of them and then copied it and adjusted the lighting for every single piece. For the texture of the metal, I used the standard metallic brush that comes with Brocade, and I blended it in with the different layer modes like overlay and multiply, for example. Also, one of my favorite brushes that I use all the time for this challenge is a felt tip pen brush. It was in some kind of brush set that I downloaded for free and it's so great. And right here I just started to add some more details in the spiderweb and also in the chandelier, like the texture of the metal. I also replaced some of the crystals with spiderweb cocoons. And at some point I decided I really did want a background to give the whole piece more atmosphere, and I saw this really cool picture of spiderwebs on Pinterest and it kind of looked like fog or clouds, and I felt like it made the whole piece look more mysterious and like it really fitted into a magical mansion. Then I started to add some colors. I experimented a lot with different layer modes and opacity levels in an attempt to keep the values that I put down when I painted it in grey. But I still ended up completely painting over some of the parts, like the wall for example, because I wanted it to have more texture. This coloring process really was a struggle because I know I could have sped it up so much if I had just used a cleaner layer system. Like, I could have used clipping masks for pretty much all of this, but my layers, they were just really chaotic and I had so many of them. So yeah. So this part right here is the part that I meant when I said I repainted the wall a bunch of times. It just looked so flat before, so I added all these kind of different purple shades and blended them into each other and reduced the opacity on different layers to kind of achieve a textured wall look. And I also added this crack in the wall. So right here I try to make the contrast between the wall and the chandelier a bit bigger. So I made the wall a darker shade of purple and the chandelier more a glowy golden bronze color. So this was the part of the drawing where I really started to add more details into the texture of the chandelier. I really felt like this was the most fun part of the drawing because I felt like it finally came all together and it started to look a lot better than before. And I also wanted the chandelier to have some of these fork-like spider webs as well. But it made it really difficult to keep some parts of the spider webs nice and clean. Luckily I had them on a separate layer, so in the end I just put them on top of it again, and so they look a bit sharper in the end again. At some point I really felt like it needed something bigger in the foreground to pull in the viewer more, and so there would be just less wall space because it looked empty. I don't know. So I added the spiderweb cloud thing and a huge spider. I think that's pretty much all I can explain for this painting process. Let me know if you like this type of commentary or if you would rather just watch a normal speed paint without the voiceover. Or maybe you have some questions that you want me to answer. If you do... Oh my god, my cat just jumped on my desk. Okay. If you do, I can already say that I am a very chaotic person, and most of the things I do while drawing are probably not the most time efficient, so maybe you should not take my advice. But if you still have questions, you can ask them, and of course I will try to answer them as best as I can. See you in 2 days again. Bye!